Well, I'm here with Hilary Hutchison from Montana, USA. What are you doing in Australia?
Well, I came out here with the Victoria Fisheries Authority to go to the Talk Wild Trout Conference in Mansfield, which was awesome. So this day of kind of seminars and information from scientists, all kinds of fisheries biologists and riparian experts and fish guides and all kinds of just information for locals about trout fishing here in Australia. So I came out to kind of talk about some of the things that we see and do in the U.S. and share information, and I did one of the talks, and it's been super fun. I got to do some fishing and travel around a little bit.
Now, so you're a fly fishing instructor in some pretty wild areas of the US, aren't you?
Yeah, I get to guide up in what we call the crown of the continent, so kind of the top of the United States geographically. We're just south of the Canadian border, and I guide on the border rivers of Glacier National Park. So the southern border being the middle fork of the Flathead River and the north fork of the Flathead River on the western border of Glacier. And then I also guide in the wilderness in Idaho as well. So some really beautiful wilderness areas and wild and scenic river corridors is what we call them. And so they're freestone rivers, no dams. They're super wild and dynamic, so lots going on in these rivers with rapids and pool and drop and long flat spots and just some fun water.
Well, apart from being inspired to go to Montana, the other thing is you spoke about what we call in Australia an esky or, cool box or whatever, but you spoke about YETI because you're one of a handful of a few women in the world that is a YETI ambassador. And you just started using it, didn't you? Because it's the top class, isn't it?
Yeah, long before I was a YETI ambassador, I was purchasing YETI products full price because I needed to have the best stuff that I knew wouldn't fail me in the field. And that's not a cliche thing, that's a real thing. Like, if your gear fails when you're way in the backcountry, there's nothing you can do. And then all eyes are on you. Clients are looking at you like, who's this joker? You have to have tip of the spear products to do that kind of work. And my parents taught me at a very young age because they were mountain climbers and park rangers. And they said, you don't have to have a lot of money. My parents never made a lot of money, and they would buy the best products once. And so my mom still has the mountaineering jacket that she wore guiding at Mount Rainier, and my dad, same thing. They still have the same backpacks and everything because they would get the tip of the spear style products, the stuff that
is tip of the spear, so the highest quality.
Yeah, I mean, just like the point of the arrow there that's gonna really drive it home, and we're talking about people who are tip of the spear kind of people and products, and who are doing the very best they can out in some wild, rugged country.
So YETI's the only thing you would take. I mean,
totally.
You talked about how the guys that own YETI, I guess, and developed it, they wanted something they could stand on, they could treat bad, and it was tough.
Yeah. It started with Roy and Ryan Cedars, the brothers who were out fishing for tarpon and wanted to be able to stand up on a casting platform, tried to stand on their coolers, they would break, they'd tip over, and they'd have to keep throwing them away. They knew they were going into the landfill, so they kind of started building like a plywood platform on top of their coolers to try to reinforce them, and just started thinking, gosh, if we could build one that was tough enough and that could also keep our stuff cool for our entire fishing trip, that'd be great. So they just started working on it, innovating, and built this kick-ass cooler. And then they started realizing, wow, it's this tough that for places like Northwest Montana where you have bears and you're required to have bear-proof containers, that can really work.
By law, they have to be bear-proof.
You can't. Well, I mean, if the whole thing, a fed bear is a dead bear. You can't be letting bears come into your kitchen and eat all over your food. That's that you can't do that. So that's why I started using them. I needed something that was bear-proof in the backcountry. And same thing, when we're traveling around Montana, and you've got like this equipment, and you don't know what you're going to do, where you're going to be. It has to be fail-proof. So the bear-proof thing was the main reason for me. I wasn't thinking about using it as a testing platform at the time, and since then have been using these coolers for multiple applications for sure.
Now we have bears in Australia, koala bears.
Yes, the qualifications to be a bear. Not a bear, but so cute.
There you go. So YETI, it's 12 years old in America, but I tell you what, it's only new in Australia. People are getting onto it. It's available at Tackle World Kramer. Get in and check out the YETI range.